Hi, Bob Armstrong, Oasis Ministries Canada, with another practical tip on how to manage our current reality with the COVID-19 virus. Reader's Digest shared a humorous story illustrating how the stresses of life can impact marriages. Stressed out, a couple got into an argument and neither wanted to concede their position. During several miles down a country road without a word being said, they drove by a barnyard of mules and pigs, at which time the wife sarcastically asked, "Relatives of yours?" "Yep," the husband replied, "in-laws." Sarcasm may be one of the stress behaviors arising from the various challenges brought on by COVID-19, but undoubtedly far more stress behaviors have been brought to the surface in recent days. Building on the last tip of how to manage marriage during COVID-19, tip number 6 is about couples becoming aware of their stress behavior and how to manage it effectively. Early in my marriage, when I got angry at my wife, Penny, rather than verbally express my anger, I used to almost automatically start vacuuming the house. Today, Penny and I joke about it, saying that every time we had guests over, she would tick me off just so I would get the house vacuumed before the guests would arrive. Do you know what your stress behavior is? Do you clean? Do you have some kind of nervous habit like nail biting or pacing or fidgeting? Do you procrastinate or neglect responsibilities? Do you feel unmotivated, or do you have problems with memory or concentration? Maybe you become restless, irritable, or feel like you're unraveling, especially if for the first time in your life you are trying, in addition to your already busy schedule, to be the kid's school teacher at home. Do you have trouble sleeping, or are you sleeping too much? Do you use alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, or other addictive behaviors to try and relax? Maybe you've been withdrawing from others. Maybe your stress is affecting your communication with your spouse. Some people think that communication only happens with our mouths, but we actually communicate in a number of ways. I communicated my anger through vacuuming the house. Others communicate through stony silence, dismissive hand gestures, oozing with contempt, mumbling under their breath, slamming doors, and ignoring. They're all forms of communication that speak volumes. And still others communicate through body language, such as rolling their eyes. That pulsating vein on the side of your neck is saying something, or the distance or closeness placed between themselves and others. All of these are speaking on one's behalf without a single word being said. Some of us, in an attempt to keep the peace, don't speak the truth about what is going on for us, but communicate by hint dropping, manipulation, guilt tripping, intimidating, or stonewalling. Some of these mind games cause nothing but frustration for both parties, as one is left trying to figure out what the person is actually saying, and the other is wondering why they just aren't getting it. It makes sense that stress behavior would show up during these challenging days with COVID-19. So what can we do to de-stress? What can we do to change destructive stress behavior to productive? Here are a few coping strategies to address the symptoms of stress. First of all, we need to become self-aware of our stress behavior. Identify it, name it, and call it for what it is. Next, don't be too hard on yourself, as this is a very stressful time. Give yourself and others grace while you and they learn to identify stress behaviors and adjust to healthier, more productive behaviors. It's hard to measure how much the COVID-19 virus is impacting us. I remember when my mother died, I went to pay my visa bill, and at the end of the month, realized I still owed interest, went to them and asked them to forgive me because apparently I actually didn't pay it, even though I went to the bank to do it. Third, take time to breathe deeply. Breathe deeply through your nose and slowly exhale. Do this 10 times and feel your body relax. And after relaxing a bit, then think about the stress behavior. Be curious about your behavior without condemning yourself. Guard against condemning self-talk. Once you realize that you're exhibiting stress behavior, take the time to explore what is causing it. What happened and what thought were you thinking that is causing you stress? It may be helpful to take a walk or a time out as you formulate your thoughts or prepare to put them into words. Next, talk about it. Share with your spouse what the cause of your stress is. If the cause of your stress behavior is your spouse, then tell them what it is they are doing and how it has impacted you. Attack the issue and not the person. Another helpful option in processing your discovery is through journaling. A fifth and final strategy addressing the symptoms of stress involves proactive steps, such as giving yourself regular breaks to be quiet. Take a hot bath, pray, meditate, exercise, practice getting into a relaxed state when you go to bed by avoiding caffeinated and alcoholic drinks close to bedtime, as well as shutting off electronics which keep your mind engaged. Give yourself regular breaks. If a couple with children spell one another off, that's helpful. And create routine by organizing your day. If clutter stresses you out, find a space where you can relax. The evidence is clear. Anything is better than vacuuming as a way of expressing my anger. Some tips to managing marriage during COVID-19 are for couples to become aware of their stress behavior and learn to effectively manage it through awareness, by giving yourself and your spouse grace, by being curious about your stress behavior and exploring the reasons behind it, sharing it with your spouse rather than attacking them with what is wrong with them, as well as a number of proactive strategies such as regular breaks, quiet time, exercise, prayer, setting a routine, and others. I'm Bob Armstrong, Oasis Ministries Canada. If you'd like to learn more about having a healthy relationship, I would encourage you to go to www.couplecare.ca and order the book called Along the Way. I'll be back in a couple of days with some more practical tips on managing marriage during our current reality with the COVID-19 virus.